Hello viewers, my name is Kuldeep Singh. Welcome to my YouTube channel Technical Skills. Guys, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe this channel and please do hit the bell icon for latest updates. Hello viewers, if any one of you is interested in taking online or offline training, you can contact me on the number given on screen. You can call me or you can send me a WhatsApp message. Also, you can check my number in description of video. Thank you very much. Hello viewers, welcome again to this new PLC tutorial session. In this session, we will cover up that practice question that we are going on, and we'll start with the question number 6. So you can see the question number 6 on the screen. Let's start with the question number 6. When start push button is pressed, output A and output B gets on and off at the interval of 5 and 8 seconds respectively, alternately one after another until stop push button is pressed. So this question is little bit similar to the question that fifth number question. In this fifth number question, it was only one output, and in this sixth question there are two outputs, that is A and B, that are getting on and off at the interval of 5 and 8 seconds. It means output A is getting on for 5 seconds. After output A gets off, output B is getting on for 8 seconds, and this process gets on and gets repeated again and again until stop push button is pressed. So let's go and find out the solution. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do is we have to make a latch. Okay, so to make a latch, you know that we have to use a binary bit. So first push button is pressed, so let's it be the first or start push button. Okay, when start push button is pressed, output A gets on at the interval of 5 seconds. So let's first make a latch. Okay, so make a latch with the binary bit. So I will use a binary bit B3:0/0, and we will latch a binary bit B3:0/0. Okay, so this is a latch for a binary bit, and we will use a timer in parallel with this binary bit, so the timer also gets latched. Okay, so here is the timer, T on timer, that is T4:0. Okay, we have to keep a time base 1 and interval is 5 seconds. Okay, so when start button is pressed, output A gets on for 5 seconds. So we have to use a timer bit. Timer bit is TT bit, T4:0/TT. Why I am using TT? Because output A is getting on for 5 seconds. Okay, it is not getting on after 5 seconds. So I am using the TT bit. So this is output A. Let it name as A. Okay, so this is output A. Okay, so this is, let's see the question. When first start button pressed, output A and output B gets on and off at the interval of 5 and 8 seconds respectively, alternately. So it means first output A gets on for 5 seconds. After output A gets off, when I use the word after, then it means that I have to use a done bit. So I am using a done bit over here, T4:0/DN. Okay, and after this I am using a timer, again another timer, to give the interval of 8 seconds. Okay, so T4:1, we will keep the time base 1 and reset 8 seconds. Okay, so when start push button is pressed, output A and output B gets on at the interval of 5 and 8 seconds respectively. So first output A gets on, and after output A gets off, output B gets on for 8 seconds. So it is for 8 seconds, so I have to use another TT bit, T4:1/TT. Okay, and I will use a output, that is output number B. So we will name it as a B output. Okay, so this is okay. I have to use a stop button also, and also one thing more, that this process repeats again and again until stop push button is pressed. Okay, so this process is repeating. So to repeat this process, what I have to do is I have to reset this whole process again and again. To reset this whole process, what I'm using here NC of a done bit of second timer. Okay, when this done bit will get on, this will reset this timer. Okay, when this timer resets, then whole process below this timer will get reset. Okay, and after a last thing is that I have to use a stop push button. So I will using a stop push button. This is a stop push button. Okay, let's see how it works. Let's run it. When start push button is pressed, output A gets on for 5 seconds. As output A gets off, you can see output B gets on again for 5 seconds. Sorry, for 8 seconds. When output B gets off, again output A gets on for 5 seconds. So this is process getting repeated again and again, because I am using this done bit over here. This is the done bit of the second timer. When this B output gets off, this done bit gets on. When this done bit gets on, it resets whole process, and it is all done in just a fraction of seconds. So it seems like after A output B gets on, output B again output A gets on. This process repeats again and again until stop push button is pressed. See, when I will press the stop push button, both outputs gets off. So this is the solution for question number 6. I hope you are learning and you are understanding this solution. The next is question number 7. Question number 7 is, when first push button is pressed, output A gets on. After 5 seconds, output B gets on. When second push button is pressed, output B gets off after 7 seconds, and output C gets on after 7 seconds. When third push button is pressed, output B again gets on after 3 seconds. All outputs gets off on pressing stop push button. So let's understand this question. We have to do the question line wise. Okay, so if I have to first read out the first line, and we'll just make it on and we'll check it out, and then again we have to relate with the second line. When first push button is pressed, output A is getting on, this much, because here no timer is related with the output A. Okay, so I will do it. Let's do it practically. Okay, let's erase this. Okay, when first push button is pressed, okay, this is first push button. Okay, let's name it as first. Okay, first push button is pressed, output A gets on. So there is no timer is related with this, so I am directly using output A over here. Simple. I just latched output A. When I will press this first push button, output A will gets on. This is the first part. After 5 seconds, output B gets on. A gets on, and after A gets on, output B gets on after 5 seconds. Okay, so I have to use a timer. Okay, I will use a timer in parallel with this A. It is a T on timer. So I will use a timer over here. T on T4:0. Okay, and I will use it for 5 seconds, and that because in the question it is mentioned that after 5 seconds, so I will use a done bit, and done bit with this done bit I will make this output B gets on. Okay, so this is the first part. When first push button is pressed, output A gets on. After 5 seconds, output B gets on. You can check it out. Okay, we can check this much part also, whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so that you should have a clear vision of what you are doing. Okay, let's check. When first push button is pressed, output A gets on, and after 5 seconds, output B gets on. Okay, so this much part is very much okay. Okay, now read out the second part. When second push button is pressed, output B gets off after 7 seconds. Now we have to use another push button, that is second push button, is output B gets off after 7 seconds and output C gets on after 7 seconds. So it is clearly mentioned there is a timer related to output B and output C. So I have to use a latch for a timer for second push button. So I am using it in this run. I am making another push button, that will be a second push button. So I am using a latch for second push button. Okay, let's use a latch. I1 colon 0 slash 1. Okay, let's name it as second. Okay, second push button, and I will use a binary bit to latch the timer. Okay, now when I have to use a timer also, when second push button is pressed, and you have to use a timer for 7 seconds. T4 colon 1, 7 seconds. And what is happening in this timer is, when second push button is pressed, output B gets off after 7 seconds, output C gets on after 7 seconds. Let's do the on part first. Okay, so what is happening is C is getting on after 7 seconds. After, so I have to use a done bit, T4 colon 1 slash DN, and with this DN the C output is getting on. So I am using this C, name is C. Okay, so this is getting on after 7 seconds. And what another thing is happening is that output B gets off after 7 seconds. So B is also getting off after. So after we have to use a done bit, because it is getting off, so we have to use a NC of done bit. Okay, T4 colon 1 slash DN, and this NC of done bit will stop this output B. Okay, so you can check it out, this much part also. When first push button is pressed, output A gets on, and after 5 seconds output B gets on, correct. When second push button is pressed, output C gets on after 7 seconds, output B gets off after 7 seconds. Both are getting off at the same time. Okay, so this much part is also correct. Let's move to the last part, and last part is when third push button is pressed, output B again gets on after 3 seconds, and third push button is pressed. So I have to make a third push button also. Okay, so I will make another latch below this over here. So this is, let name as third push button, third, and I have to take a binary bit to latch the timer. So I will use a timer over here. Okay, so I will use a timer for 3 seconds over here. So let's take a timer, T4 colon 2. So I will make a timer for 3 seconds, and what is happening is, with this timer is when third push button is pressed, output B again gets on after 3 seconds. So I have to switch on this output B. So what I will do, I will just, this timer is blocking this path for output B, so I will just open this path by taking a parallel NO over here. And what this NO is doing, this is just passing the supply to this output B. So I am using the timer because it is getting on after 3 seconds, so I am using a done bit over here. Okay, so this is the done bit for this thing, and the last part of the question is that we have to use a stop push button to stop all the output. So in every latch you have to use a stop push button. So you have to use an NC in every latch. You can use a stop push button. You can name it like this. I am naming it as 3 as stop, and you have to use the same addressing in all stops. Okay, so that whenever you stop this push button, every output gets off. You can copy this like this. Okay, now you can run it and check it out. So when first push button pressed, output A gets on. After 5 seconds, output B gets on. When second push button is pressed, after 7 seconds B gets off, and after 7 seconds C gets on. Both are getting off and on at the same time. When third push button is pressed, this is the third push button and this is the output B. Okay, so when the third push button is pressed, output B gets on after 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds. Okay, and when the stop push button is pressed, all outputs gets off. Okay, so this is the solution for question number 7. I hope you have understood this solution. So please keep practicing, keep learning. Thank you very much. Hello viewers, if any one of you is interested in taking online or offline training, you can contact me on the number given on screen. You can call me or you can send me a WhatsApp message. Also you can check my number in description of video. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe this channel. Also hit the bell icon for latest updates. Please give this video thumbs up and do share it with your friends. Also please comment below how do you like this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. I will definitely answer your questions. Thank you very much.